I'm 7 days into the 30-day challenge with the HTC One X, and this time around, it's all about storage. How's it going, guys? I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and in this video, let's talk a little bit about the 64 gigabytes of internal storage, HTC Sync Manager, and how it works when you bring your music over to the device. So in day 7 of the 30-day challenge with the HTC One X Plus, this time it's all about the onboard storage. This thing has 64 gigabytes of onboard storage, and yes, it doesn't have a micro SD card for expandable storage, but what I love about this, and I've talked about it multiple times in videos, dogfights, and more, this thing is $199 and you're getting 64 gigabytes of internal storage. Compare that to the iPhone 5, where you get 64 gigabytes of internal storage on the model that costs you $399. So in terms of a value add there, it's really nice. But you know what I was curious about? For people coming in as new consumers, how easy is it to get music and media onto your device? So I kind of played like a new consumer. I plugged it into my Mac, and the first thing that popped up was HTC Sync Manager. I drug it down, downloaded it, installed it, and HTC Sync Manager, as you can see here, is a surprisingly easy to use application. It's got music and gallery up with tabs on the top, so you can easily get your music in from iTunes or whatever third-party music service you use. Gallery, so you can download your images. The one caveat I will say to the gallery, I had some issues getting my images in from my Galaxy Note 2. What I suspect I'll have to do, and you may have to do as well if you have a Mac, download those pictures into iPhoto and then take them from iPhoto into the gallery. I find that the integration is particularly good with iPhoto, but when you're adding an individual folder or file extensions, if you will, it does struggle a little bit. I found that for whatever reason, like 10 of my pictures synced up out of the 1,200 that I have in this particular folder. So it synced up the first 10 or 12, but wouldn't do the rest. But I imagine if I bring it into iPhoto, it would do it. Now, I didn't have a chance to do that before we shot this video, so keep that in mind. But you know what? The integration between the Mac applications, pretty fantastic. iTunes, iPhoto, and as you can see there, pretty quick and easy to use. Plug in the USB and you're good to go. So let's go into music, for example, and you can see what the overall interface looks like. So I have it set up on playlists here, but I can go to artists, for example, and scroll through all of my different artists on this phone. And it brings up album art, and just to back out so you can see what music looks like, I've got my phone, and because this is Android 4.1 and HTC Sense version 4 Plus, I have my phone, SoundHound, and TuneIn Radio. So we'll go to my phone, brought this music over from my iTunes library. We'll go from artists just to playlist because I do have a running playlist I use, but recently played is where I'm going to go. So you bring up So Good by B.O.B. It's got this recently played song. And you can see there obviously Beats integration here, so if you have Beats headphones, you can turn that on and utilize it on the in-house music player. You got your menu up here. I can get info. I can queue it up, I can select the player, I can do details, and of course down through here I can add it to a particular playlist, I can set it as a ringtone, I can share it, and then of course my typical music stuff down here at the bottom. Now when I hit play, you can see right here, So Good, playing up the notifications bar, so I've got quick access to play it and pause it and go right back to where I left off. So we'll go down through here, music, and we'll go right back. And I can play through here, and you can see it plays in the bottom corner here, and I have the ability to pause it or play it from there. So we'll go ahead and pause that and go back. So I've got my running playlist here, and pardon me for some of the songs are weird. So Save Me San Francisco, for example, I can scroll right through to all the different songs, and you can see how the album art kind of switches in and out as I switch from song to song. So the overall integration is great. The 64 gigabytes of internal storage is nice. I'm using about 10 gigabytes. I'll actually show you in settings how many gigabytes I'm using here. We'll scroll down to storage. I'm only using total about 10 gigabytes of my 64 gigabytes. You can see apps take up 362 megabytes, music 1.28 gigabytes, photos not very much because like I said, I'm having some issues getting all my photos over. That'll take up more once I get all my photos synced up. But I can make more space, of course, but I've still got plenty of space with the 64 gigabytes. I actually have some TV shows and movies on iTunes that I'd like to bring over as well, but I didn't get a chance to do that in time. So look for that in the next challenge videos, so keep that in mind. Keep it locked on PhoneDog.com for continuing coverage. Let me know what you want to see in this challenge series. PhoneDog_Aaron, Twitter, Facebook, Facebook.com/HiAaronBaker or Facebook.com/PhoneDog, which is the company's Facebook channel. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you'd like to see as we continue through this 30-day challenge. I really want to address some of the pressing questions you have because after all, I'm doing these videos for you. You're probably looking at this device and comparing it to other devices on the market, the Note 2, the Galaxy S3. I'd love to see what you want to see going forward on this challenge series. Keep it locked on PhoneDog.com for continuing coverage of the One X Plus, and stay tuned for the next challenge update.